Do you hear that? It's called silence. I visited the quietest denomination in Christianity. I'm LT, and this is Backpack Religion. Alright, it's time to speak up a little bit. I can't talk this quiet the entire video. Quakers, who are notorious for their extremely quiet meetings, even have a famous saying for this fact. People will say, tongue-in-cheek, "Are we having a Quakers meeting?" or "Let's enjoy this Quaker meeting," or something like that when there's awkward silence in a conversation. So of course, I wanted to go investigate this fact to verify if this is true. And the answer may surprise you.
Oh, good morning. I woke up like this. But just kidding. Just messing with you guys. I just try to do a bit like these other YouTubers and vloggers are doing these days. Okay, anyway. So, what am I doing today? I am going to be visiting the Quakers. I literally have like no reference point for what the Quakers do and stuff. Only thing I know is the stereotypical, their meetings are silent and very quiet. That's all I know. I don't even know really how to dress. As for any place I visit, I really don't know how I should dress. So, for instance, today I'm wearing this, which I don't know if this is appropriate attire for a Quaker meeting hall. I assume they no longer look like the Quaker Oats guy. I assume they don't look like that anymore, but I really don't know for sure. But I'm sure they're really nice people. I mean, so far I've been amazed by how nice everyone is that I've been visiting and going to. So I think this will go well, but it's always confusing because I don't always know what to wear. So we'll see how this goes. So, looks like I made it to the Quaker meeting hall or church. I'm not entirely sure what to call it, but the place where the Quakers meet. So it's a nice little brick building, nestled in some trees and shrubbery. And we'll see if it's the quiet meeting that I anticipate it to be. But yeah, let's head inside.
The first answer, and yes, I mean the first answer because there's two, is yes. Yes, they are very quiet. For about an hour, my brother and I sat through a Quaker meeting and it was dead silent. The entire meeting, you were basically expected to sit there and pray, meditate, read anything you had with you, and that was about it. And you are only expected to talk if you feel compelled by God to say something, which does happen from time to time, but in the case of the meeting I was at, did not happen at all until a few minutes before closing. The one man who spoke during the meeting did so after like 50-some minutes of silence and told a story about driving the nails into his mother's coffin, or his grandmother's coffin. I can't quite remember exactly which one it was. I'm not sure the spiritual significance of the story, but he shared it with us anyway. Then shortly after this story was told, the person who was assigned to end the service stood up and closed us out. They don't have a lot of formal leadership within the Quaker denomination, so there's not like a pastor or anything that opens or closes services. It's a lot more democratic, for lack of a better word. We also got a little tour of their library after the service, which included many books from different religions, philosophies, and of course Quaker history and thought. So is that it? Are Quakers basically just quiet? Well, this is kind of the second answer, building off a point I made earlier. According to one member, occasionally they will have services that are called basically like popcorn meetings or something along those lines, where multiple people speak during the service. In which case the spirit is really moving and people feel compelled to speak, and so multiple people are speaking throughout the service and it's not really quiet. But they also often have quiet meetings like the one we were at. And it's also important to note that the Quakers are a fairly small denomination, and the church I went to had at that moment less than like a dozen people at the service, so it also had less chances for people to speak up. But even at a larger congregation, you're not always going to get people to talk. It's going to be silent from time to time as well. But it was honestly peaceful sitting there in the silence. The silence mingled with the nature sounds outside was really conducive for meditation. I really felt at peace. However, it is kind of awkward facing everyone since Quaker meeting houses are designed that the benches all sort of face each other. But either way, I did experience peace, and surprisingly the hour went by pretty fast. I guess silence can be a good thing in our fast-paced and sometimes loud world.